Whether you like making hobby villages, you play D&D, whether you do RC cars, you may want a small smoke machine, and where a giant disco smoke machine won't do. And I'm going to show you a very simple way of doing one. You will need a very good soldering iron for this. I use my solder station, which is capable of getting up to 400 degrees C. I don't get it quite that high, but you will need something. You wouldn't be able to use a small soldering iron for this. There may be ways of using one, but it will make your life a lot harder. You will need a vape atomizer, like this. You will need some hose pipe from a fish tank pump or such like. A fish tank pump, 2 pieces of wire, a decent soldering iron as I said, and glycerine, glycerol or fog juice, one of those. And you will need something to power it, which is either a 4.5 18650 battery or something that will give around 5 volts. Right, let's get on.
How to make one of these into one of these. Okay, it's pretty simple. First off, start by filling it up with some of the fluids, whether it's glycerine or some other fogging material, and leave it to soak in as long as you can. Next, you're going to want to choose a spot to drill through. In these, they have multiple concentric circles. I'll show you a picture now of where we're going to solder to. There isn't particularly a negative or positive, but basically one will go to one end of the coil, another goes to the other. The reason I want you to fill it up with moisture, well, the fluid first, is to stop the coil overheating when we solder to it. Using a punch, you want to tap a mark that's going to be just above where the first concentric circle is, but not to actually make a hole in the actual tank. This will stop the drill slipping when we drill a hole. Put the tiniest drop of lubrication on your drill bit. It's fairly simple. Next, you're going to want to strip and tin the ends of 2 pieces of wire. Now for this part you will need a very good soldering iron. What you're going to want to do is place one wire through the hole and along the outside edge. Like that, and solder it in. This one's very tricky. You want to put it in through the hole and then soldering iron in. Make sure it's there. Now, at this point you want to test. So, okay, to test this you need a 5 volt battery or a 4 volt 18650 battery, and touch them together and listen. If you hear that noise, it's working, and we can go to the next stage. That sound is the coil heating up. Next we take a piece of tubing, and what we're going to do is use our soldering iron to make a tiny little hole down here, big enough for the wire to go through. Okay, so you've made your hole in the wire, and what you're going to need to do now is thread the internal wire through this hole, and you want this to land over the tube. And while you're doing that, you want to start heating up the glue gun. This bit is extremely fragile. Now, you want to hold this over the tube, as in the internal tube, and hold it, and then put a blob of glue down one side and just hold. And this is where you just take your time. Hold it till it's dry, well, till it's cool, and then you can move around the other side and glue the rest of it in. What I like to do is get a piece of metal, plonk it on the top, and it should start making it solidify quicker. So that's the top part dry, but cooled, sorry. But you want to actually leave it for a good few minutes holding onto it. I can't stress this enough, do not let go, do not do anything until it's properly dried. Now while you're waiting for that to dry, just plop a little bit in the hole that was for the negative wire, let's call it for now. Right, I'll be back once it's cool. Right, making sure to fill it back up again, in case any has leaked out, etc. Connect your air pump and then connect up the battery. And there is our smoke machine.
Okay, so as I said, you can use this for many ideas, and basically it's your imagination. I'm going to be using it for this behind me. It's basically a laser that's coming up soon, and it's good. It's a bit of fun, but yeah, you can use this on many things. Like I've seen them on RC cars, for example, as the exhaust pipes. Another one I saw it on was a tank. So every time the tank fired something or made the sound of firing something, smoke would come out the end, which made it look so much more realistic. Anyway, I hope that's helped you and I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, see you again next week. Bye for now.